Is designed for affordable homes for veterans and seniors, and experts gather at Pitt State to discuss how artificial intelligence is changing our classrooms and careers. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, what's next now that the Joplin City Council has approved demolition of the old Freeman Hospital to make way for new affordable housing. Plus, crews work to restore power in parts of Lamar 2 days after the tornado. And one Missouri community calls for repairs and change after tornado sirens failed over the weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Plans are underway for an affordable housing development at the site of the old Freeman Hospital in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The Joplin City Council unanimously approved the removal of asbestos and demolition of the vacant building at their last city council meeting. KOAM Samantha Walker has details on what's next for the location.
For years, the old Freeman building on South Sargent has sat vacant, deteriorating over time. Joplin city officials say the building was unlikely to ever be rehabbed since it no longer qualified for preservation tax credits. That's due to the number of times it's been modified.
It's been an issue for everyone. I mean, that's 20th Street corridor, it's so visible. People see that blight and have seen it for many years. So now we have a great opportunity to get it down and put that space back in production, especially with affordable housing.
The former owners of the site, the Kraft family, donated the land to the Economic Security Corporation, known as ESC, who plans to develop affordable housing there. The main targets for that housing will be veterans and seniors.
As a nonprofit, one of the hardest things to getting affordable housing is finding land at a reasonable cost to where we can do that. We were able to get that donation.
The development will be a three-way partnership between the city, ESC, and Habitat for Humanity and its Joplin Economic Housing Development Initiative, known as JEDI. They already have plans for what they want to build.
We would like to build 3 two-story duplexes at the location. These would be rentals under JEDI. We've built one at 311 North Joplin here recently in partnership with Economic Security. We have a good relationship with them.
The city will be using American Rescue Plan Act funding for the demolition of the old building. Bolander says funding to build the affordable housing will come from a city program that receives funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
With inflation, material costs, labor costs have all increased drastically. So it has priced some people out of the market. So anytime we can get more affordable housing and people into those homes, it's a good thing for Joplin.
The three partners hope the project will revitalize the Joplin area.
Talking all the time about what we can do together to help improve the community.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
City staff say they don't yet have any sort of timeline for when the demolition will begin. They do plan to begin meeting with contractors soon. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. And of course, we've gotten a chance to dry out a bit over the past couple days, but tracking thunderstorms just to our west. They are working in, but at the same time, they're falling apart. We may get a few scattered thunderstorms in here in southeastern Kansas, but most of us will end up staying dry tonight as these storms just have a really hard time. You can see they do weaken, kind of push through southeastern Kansas, and then once they get to the state line, they pretty much fizzle apart. But we need a break from the rain. We've had a lot of rain, over 6 inches for the month so far, so we've caught up right to where we should be for this time of the year. Temperatures have been great, 81 for a high for us today, and if we look outside right now, we're still into the mid-60s. We'll only drop back near 60 later on tonight. We're going to talk more about thunderstorm chances here in just a bit.
Catch you soon. The Lamar, Missouri community is working to pick up the pieces after that tornado that swept through on Easter Sunday. The EF0 tornado left some residents with broken tree limbs in their yard and without power. The city administrator of Lamar says some of the main issues are damage to homes and downed power poles. He says today crews are working to restore power to residents.
Coordinating our resources, both managing volunteers, Salvation Army, Red Cross, and our electric crews that have come in to assist us. That's just been a challenge that we've dealt with and tried to organize it the best we can.
The city administrator says Lamar plans to evaluate how the tornado aftermath was handled so they can make improvements as needed if another tornado strikes. The National Weather Service has also confirmed that it was a tornado that tore through Jasper County this weekend. The NWS has an EF1 tornado touched down just north of Galena, Kansas, causing damage to multiple trees and roofs before crossing the Missouri border west of Belleville. It continued through Carl Junction before lifting near the intersection of County Road 210 and H Highway. Cleanup efforts continue there also. A Missouri community is making repairs to its tornado sirens after finding out most were not fully functioning during last weekend's severe storms. Adam Woodbury takes us to Kabul to find out what was behind the malfunctions and what's being done to keep it from happening again.
And we never had any issues until this time with these new sirens.
Repairs underway today in Kabul to bring the city's tornado sirens back in order. When Sunday's severe storm rolled in, people found out they couldn't hear the sirens going off.
You know, at least some of them went off, but people still weren't able to hear it. And granted, they're not designed for people inside your house to hear.
Stacy Monter is the city's electric supervisor and previously served as the safety coordinator for the Office of Emergency Management.
The one at City Hall was working, the other one, what we call it, the 5th Street, was working.
But it turns out, Monter said, the batteries in the 5th Street siren and the one by the high school were the culprits. He said he actually lives near the high school siren and was wondering why it wasn't making any noise during the storm.
The one at the high school, and it was a battery that was basically blown up inside of it. That's what operates the sound.
And he says the 5th Street one was still working, but the tone wasn't right. In fact, off camera, I spoke to a person who lives nearby who said all he could hear was a low humming sound. When asked about having the sirens tested, Monter said they used to test them regularly, but it's been about a year since they last were, due to changes in the Office of Emergency Management. But the city was able to quickly get the parts they needed to make the repairs right away.
They said they was going to bring the stuff down, and they was supposed to be here this week, and they ended up coming today, and they should be done today.
The Kabul Fire Department declined an interview, but going forward, the police department says on its Facebook page it'll test the sirens every second Tuesday of the month. Missouri Southern took the lead in going green, celebrating Earth Day with a special focus on sustainability. The university welcomed local middle and high school students to discuss ways to make daily living more eco-friendly. Organizers say events like this are a critical reminder that everyone has a role to play in making the environment a healthier, more livable place.
There is increasingly a lack of fresh water, clean fresh water that is available to our planet. And so we in our area are very fortunate that we're in what I call a water-rich area. And so we don't necessarily feel that impact so strongly. But the more that we use our water sources and we pollute our water sources, the more expensive it's going to be to get clean, safe drinking water.
More than a dozen local companies participated in this event. Pitt State's first AI symposium draws educators and professionals to discuss the potential impact of artificial intelligence. That story is coming up, but up first, the trouble with tariffs.
New economic forecasts warn of the global impact of President Trump's trade war. I'm Erica Brown with more on that and White House reaction to the Pentagon chief's latest controversy.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford.
Markets made a big gain today, nearly recovering from yesterday's losses. Despite those gains, the Dow is still set for one of the worst Aprils since the Great Depression, as President Trump's tariffs and his feud with the Federal Reserve chair has some investors nervous. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
The International Monetary Fund is warning President Trump's tariffs will slow down the global and U.S. economies.
U.S. dollar fell to its lowest level in 3 years. Usually when you have tariffs, the dollar rises. This tells us that the international community is selling America, and that is not good for any of us.
But stocks pushed higher on remarks Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made in a closed-door meeting. CBS News confirmed he told investors a trade war with China is unsustainable. Bessent says he expects the situation to de-escalate, even though those trade talks have yet to begin.
But ultimately, they have to make a deal because otherwise they're not going to be able to deal in the United States. And we want them involved.
The White House also defended President Trump's attacks on Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, who Trump called a, quote, major loser for not lowering interest rates.
The president believes that they have been making moves and taking action in the name of politics rather in the name of what's right for the American economy.
Later Tuesday in the Oval Office, the president responded to questions about whether he was looking at ways to fire Powell.
No, I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No.
Last week, Powell warned President Trump's tariffs are likely to drive up prices and slow economic growth. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump, meanwhile, continues to stand by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after reports the Pentagon chief shared details about military airstrikes in a private Signal group chat that included his wife, brother, and attorney. The administration says the reporting is part of a smear campaign from disgruntled former Pentagon employees. As the influence of artificial intelligence continues to shape the world around us, Pitt State hosts its first ever symposium to address the potential impacts in the classroom and the workforce. AI in academia and the workforce, exploring the impact and implications, featured panelists from a variety of disciplines to discuss the evolving role of AI in education, research, and other professional fields.
So I've designed this project through the healing through code. AI has overtaken every field in the industries in the current era. So I've designed it for AI in healthcare. So this is about AI with machine learning, computer vision, and some technologies like natural language processing.
Attendees could participate in a Q&A session following the panel discussion. Crowder College opened a new chapter on its annual used book sale today. The college's Lee Library director says all types of books are up for sale, including children's books and hardcover fiction. Funds from the sale help the Friends of the Library purchase equipment, books, book lecture, speakers, and special events throughout the year.
So in the past, we were able to use our money to buy extra student laptops that students are able to check out for the whole entire semester. So that really helps our students, especially students who are taking online classes that can't make it to campus to use our computers. They're able to check a laptop out for the whole entire semester.
The event is open to the public as well as the campus community. Now, if you missed today's chapter, no worries. The event continues. It runs for 2 more days. Just head over to KOIMnewsnow.com for more information. Honoring those who dedicate their lives to serving others. Tonight, the South Joplin VFW Post 5293 honored the parents of fallen firefighter Tucker Berry with a special plaque. Berry lost his life last October from injuries sustained in a golf cart accident while off duty. Berry served as a Reddings Mill firefighter. He volunteered for Lockwood Fire and was also a Dade County first responder.
He was just a good-hearted, big-hearted kind of person. Was always willing to put, someone else's interest, ahead of his, and wanted to make things better for everyone.
Berry planned to continue serving others as he was studying to eventually become an attorney. A little later, it's tournament time for softball in the Sooner State. John Dales has details on the Fairland Owls' attempt at a title coming up in sports.
Plus, it's also thunderstorm time as we go through the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up.
Cowboy up for Wild West Town, April.
Well, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. Plenty of sunshine across the region. Most of us right around 80 or 81 degrees during the afternoon. Have some mid and upper level clouds shooting through, but overall it's looking pretty good. Great shot. This is our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Tower Cam, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. You can actually keep the windows open tonight. We're sitting into the mid to upper 60s. We'll only drop back near 60 by morning. We are tracking a few thunderstorms, but most of these are going to fall apart as they push in. Now, out across southeastern Kansas, you may get a few scattered showers as these clusters kind of head in, but really die very quickly. So windows better shot on the Missouri side. But again, any thunderstorms that do make it in, they're not going to be too strong or severe. Reason being, there's a dry line way out across western Kansas, so the farther away these storms get from that, they just lose their energy, but they're going to fire right back up once again as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. Look at the weak little upper level waves. We don't have a big storm system rotating through, meaning we are getting just these kind of hit and miss scattered showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to see that as we go through the next few days. Let's go through time. Over the next couple hours, those scattered thunderstorms trying to get in and just kind of fall apart. So not much to them. We'll start the day near 60, mid-70s by noon, very similar to what we saw today. 80, 81 degrees for highs. Notice the hit and miss storms once again during the afternoon. Some of these stronger ones could contain some very small hail, but I think most of them will stay just below severe limits. We just don't really have the atmospheric dynamics we really need, but we could get a few stronger storms. Again, here's 6:30, few hit and miss storms across the region, then really just kind of die out as we go through the evening into the overnight hours, and then mainly dry tomorrow night. Then we do it again. We get up Thursday. We got thunderstorms to our west, scattered thunderstorms driving in again once we get into Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, and also into Thursday night. Wednesday, day planner 59, start 75 by noon, high temp right around 80 degrees. Bigger severe weather chance, even though we have low chances the next couple days, our bigger chance, this moves in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. It looks like the best chance is going to be on Tuesday, so we're going to keep our eyes on that. Let's look at our upper level flow. So we have these weak waves the rest of the week, but notice what happens as we get into the weekend. Much bigger system moves into the western third of the country. Once it kicks out, it will have the atmospheric dynamics to really give us some strong showers and thunderstorms and potentially some severe weather and very heavy amounts of rain. Again, we've had so much rain over the past week, but over the next week, a lot of areas could pick up another 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. 80 on your Wednesday, 75s Thursday, Friday. Temperature is great through the period, but those hit and miss storms somewhere in the area, a chance every single day.
You know, it'd be nice if you could just bottle up some of these rain chances and then save them, maybe reopen them in, say, July, August, when we're really going to need them.
I'd be a real rich man if I could do that.
Well, work on it,
I will.
please. Thanks. Still ahead, Carl Junction High School hires a new athletic director, and Fairland Slow Pitch Softball hopes to repeat as district champions. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
It's district tournament time for slow pitch softball in Oklahoma, and Fairland comes in as the number 7 ranked team in all of Class 3A. The Lady Owls are the host for the 3-team tournament. They win their opener over Barnesville 12-0. Now you got to win 3 games in order to be district champion. Lady Owls win their second contest as well, 12-1 over Holbert, leaving them 1 victory away from a district title. And that sets up a rematch between Fairland and Holbert. Lady Owls get 2 tries to earn 1 more win to become district champs, but they get right to it. Already leading 9-1 in the 3rd inning. Mia Ross hits a line drive into shallow center. Bella Renfro scores easily. The RBI single makes it 10-1 Owls. A couple batters later, Callie Moncada crushes a pitch to center field. That bounces off the base of the wall. Another run scores. It is now 11-1. We're still in the 3rd. Aubrey Kinsey sends it over the pitcher's head into center field. Lady Owls lead 13-1, and they're closing in on a 2nd straight district title. Now in the 4th, Fairland leading 15-1. Adeline Lawler blasts one to left field. That is way gone for a 2-run homer. Lady Owls win the final game of the tournament, 18-1 over Holbert. They are back-to-back slow pitch district champions. In its 3 games today, Fairland outscores its opponents by a total of 42-2. Now they move on to regionals next week. Carl Junction High School announces this afternoon that Katie Cummins has been hired as its new athletic director and assistant principal. She currently serves as junior high activities director and PE teacher with the Neosho School District. She'll take over at the start of the next school year after Rich Neria retires. CJ Superintendent David Pyle says, quote, "I'm excited for the impact her energy and experience will have on our high school athletic and activity programs." Well, Pittsburgh State baseball was ranked number 19 in the country. The Gorillas had their historic winning streak snapped on Friday, but they've still come out on top in 15 of their last 16 contests. Tonight they try to finish off a series sweep of Missouri Southern. The Lions don't let that happen though. Tragan Parker hits a walk-off 3-run homer to cap a 5-run bottom of the 9th inning. Southern takes down Pitt State in a thriller, 12-9. PSU takes 2 out of 3 though from the Lions in the season series. The 2025 MIAA Men's Golf Championship in Jeff City gets started today. Pitt State, Missouri Southern, and the rest of the conference play 18 holes this morning, then 18 more this afternoon before the final round tomorrow. Here's a look at the individual leaderboard after the first couple rounds. Jeremy Tandoy from Arkansas Fort Smith in the lead at 7 under. Britt Coy from Missouri Southern tied for 14th at 1 over. Carson Towie, same there from Pitt State. On the team leaderboard, Central Oklahoma in first place at 3 under, Missouri Southern in 6th at 13 over, Pitt State in 10th at 21 over par. Closing things out with a look at the NBA playoffs, the Thunder cruised to a 118-99 victory over the Grizzlies at home tonight. That gives them a 2-0 series lead. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams all scored 20 points or more for OKC. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
Yeah, the rain chances are coming eventually, but for the moment at least, it's pretty nice out there, Doug.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice night, and we are going to have some pop-up storms as we get into Wednesday afternoon. A little bit more numerous on Thursday, but just kind of hit-and-miss chances over the next week or so.
Let's hope we miss more than hit. We've had plenty of rain.
It's pretty wet, yeah.
Final sports note.
Tomorrow, the Lamar Tiger football team gets its state championship rings, commemorating their back-to-back state titles. So we're going to have a lot more on that from Lamar tomorrow.
They've had a lot of success, a lot of reason to be proud. Thanks for joining us. Morning Show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.